ねえか。大隊長、やっちまえ。浅草を守ってくれ。行くベリー。俺んとこででけえ面するやつは許さねえ。そうだベニー、ここはお前の町だ。コンロの技使わせてもらうぜ。
Welcome back everyone, and it's time to go balls deep! And do I even need to say how lit this chapter was?
No!
This shit was fire! In this video, I will explain the new events in chapter 268 in which the Anti-Magic Demon has revealed his backstory with a mysterious woman that looks exactly like Asta. We learn how devils are born, why the Anti-Magic Demon hates other devils, how this woman adopted him to become a better person, how Asta was left at the church, and much more. I will also raise quite a few questions Black Clover chapter 268 has raised because it has me wondering about a lot of things that do not have any answers. Oh, the phone's ringing. Wait a sec, guys.
I mean, hello, Otto?
Yo, Tabata, what the hell is going on?
That's right, bruh! You thought you could use balls deep prediction magic to ghostwrite my whole story, huh?
No, we're friends. I'm just trying to help.
I'm just trying to help.
Dude, look, I bet the next thing you're gonna say is fuck you, Anime Black.
Screw you, Anime Balls. Wait, what? How did you...
See? This is what you always do. Okay, so the chapter begins with Asta's words echoing into the Anti-Magic Demon, where he has told him that just because he's a devil, it doesn't automatically mean he's a bad guy. This makes him remember his origin, like every anime character in any shonen. This is the perfect moment for time to be stopped, right? And for us to learn the truth. The Anti-Magic Demon explains that devils start their life in the underworld, where it's in deep, deep darkness. When a devil is born in the underworld, oh my god, what's wrong with me? When a devil is born in the underworld, since their birth, a rank is given upon them and settled. There is no way for a demon to change their rank. The devils in the underworld, known as hell, find it severely boring. Just like watching Boruto filler, for example. It's a joke, guys. It's a joke. Please don't kill me, Boruto fans. Oh shit, it's too late. You're literally already typing that I should kill myself, right?
Of course!
Anyway, since hell is boring, the higher ranked demons relieve their boredom by bullying the lower ranked demons. And those lower ranked demons bully the ones who are even lower than them, thus creating a vicious cycle of hatred and culture that is toxic to the world. The Anti-Magic Demon in particular was born without any mana and magic, and he received the lowest rank of all, meaning that every single demon in the underworld bullied him every single day of his existence. He explains that devils play with humans and it's the highest grade of pleasure to them, again insinuating that demons love to make the other races fall into sin, such as Dante falling into treachery or the humans murdering all the ancient elves. This is because they want them to fall into despair and incarnate themselves with a grimoire. These devils born in the underworld don't seem to have a grimoire of their own and must gain one from toying with humans. Zagrid explained to us earlier that when a devil incarnates and then gains a grimoire, they have finally achieved their true full power and form. Anyways, the Anti-Magic Demon explains to us that one day when he was being bullied by every single demon, one of the higher ranked demons was in a bad mood and he threw him up to the gate of hell. He thought to himself that his body would completely shatter into the door, but he was surprised that he actually went through it and entered the human world all of a sudden. Now, just as we predicted as a community, because you know this, right? Balls! Prediction magic is just way too powerful. The Anti-Magic Demon proceeds to explain that he experienced racism and prejudice not only in the underworld but also on Earth. He states that he had no evil intentions or feelings towards human beings, as he states, I don't know if it was because I was weak and magicless or because I was already torn up, but I couldn't care less about the humans. However, at the end of the day, days, since he was a devil, the humans feared him and he was hated. He was hurt by the whole world at one point and was chased down by magic knights who had strong magic power. He couldn't move anymore. He couldn't feel anymore. Couldn't think anymore. And at that moment, the anti-magic demon didn't want to live. He had given up on his life that he claims himself was rotten anyway. It was worthless. Like, oh my god. Oh my god, can someone get the goddamn tissues, please? Oh my god. After that, however, when he expected to never wake up again, to his surprise, he opened his eyes and found himself in a house. And the voice of a fine-ass waifu? My god, this actually sounds like heaven instead, bruh. Let's laugh like the anti-magic demon. Anyway, this unknown mysterious waifu comes in and says, "Oh, you're awake. What a relief," and explains that her name is Licita and that the anti-magic demon woken up in her house. She then continues to explain that her magic has the ability to store things with no mana inside other things that have no mana, and that was how she saved him and brought him here. Licita mentions that she was surprised to find him, as she had just found a 5-leaf grimoire lying around the other day, and as we all know, the saying goes, within the 5th leaf there lives the devil. So she thinks the superstitions may be true. She goes on to explain that her body steals mana and life energy from any living thing near her. We literally see her take the life force out of a nearby snake. This is similar to how Asta did this with flowers when he transformed for the first time. This means the anti-magic powers the devil has is definitely linked to Asta's mother. Anyway, this is the reason she lives on her own, secluded from society. But she says that finding a devil with no mana may be fate, and asks him if he'd want to be her kid. From there, we get a montage of this woman and the anti-magic devil, whose name has now been revealed to us as Liebe, and they're just so freaking cute. Oh my god, look at them. The whole time we've seen this devil as a huge ass monster that towered over Asta, but back then he was just a little baby boy living with his mama. He's just trying to have a normal life, kind of like Asta when he was a kid. In fact, Liebe's time with Licita is very similar to Asta's childhood with Sister Lily and the other orphans. They gave him a purpose and made him happy, and what happens next is further proof that Asta could have just as easily ended up how Liebe is now, meaning that they are two sides of the same coin, just like we've been saying.
Of course!
Anyway, at the end of the montage, Licita tells Liebe that just because someone is a devil doesn't mean they're bad, and that he's no exception, because he saved her from the agony of loneliness. Liebe starts to call Licita his mother for the first time, but he gets cut off by what seems like some kind of mental interference. And when Licita asks, what's wrong? He says, "My name is Jeff." Okay, seriously guys. He reveals his face and says he is Lucifer. It looks like Lucifer is somehow trying to take over Liebe's body, as he is one of the higher ranked devils, thus enabling him to mess with any low ranking devils he wants. Lucifer says that he didn't think there was a devil who could live on Earth without a contract to a human, but he happened to find one whilst killing some time. He says he will find a way to manifest his body in the human world through Liebe, when suddenly Licita's like, "Get the frick away from my kid! Look at you, you're disgusting, your face is ugly, shut the frick up, you waste man!"
God damn!
Lucifer says, "Foolish human, even if I can't use most of my power, I can still kill you," before realizing that Licita was actually absorbing his mana. Suddenly, Lucifer's tone changes, and he goes from a cocky bastard to worried, saying, stop it, you're killing me with your conveniently overpowered body." Licita doesn't stop though, as she yells, "This time, I'm not letting go." We see her having a small flashback where she's dropping what looks to be a baby off somewhere. Could it be? Is that Asta? Is that how he came to Hajj village? And so Lucifer does what almost any devil would probably do, and he pierces her gut with his arm. But even after that, she still persists and says, "You will not take this child," as she hugs Liebe and casts Lucifer away from him. Lucifer decides to give up for this moment, telling them he'll be back soon. Licita tells him that she can only think of one way to save him before Lucifer comes back, and that's to store him away inside the 5-leaf grimoire that she found. She says that the next time he leaves the grimoire, he'll be bigger and stronger. And it looks like she has balls deep prediction magic too, because she predicted that shit completely right. She tells Liebe to live on and calls him her dear son, and this has now confirmed to be the memory of Liebe during the fight Dante and Asta were fighting. And just a side note, Lucifer being the one who killed Licita gives the whole fight a lot more meaning and depth. That's why he was so angry, not just because it was another devil, but because of which devil it was. He wanted revenge for the loss of the one he held most dear. But as we all know, Lucifer is still alive and Dante is still a simp for him. This dude is a simp for Lucifer, bro. For Lucifer, bro. For Lucifer, bro. For Lucifer, bro. A simp. As Liebe fades away into the grimoire, he finally calls her his mother before entering a new world to live in solitude. We then come back to the current time and Liebe says he can't forgive, that his malice will not leave, and that all devils are indeed scumbags, which is why he'll kill them all, even if he has to take Asta's body to do it. So that's the Anti-Magic Demon's backstory, but what I want to know is, do you want Anti-Magic Demon merch? Let me know in the comment section below. This guy is too cute and I want shit for myself too. But in this part of the video, let's move on to my overall analysis of the information revealed in this chapter and the big questions we can raise in our community. So speaking of our community, I'd highly appreciate it if you can smash that like button. Last week we achieved almost 35,000 likes so easily, and your peak is actually 50,000, just to remind you. So can you pass that and surpass your limits? Also, please join our community. Hit the notification bell on this channel because we cover anime on a weekly basis, and here's a shout out to all the people that have bought our merch recently. Thank you for supporting us, and if you want a spotlight, buy the merch in the pinned comment or description. The link will be there, and let us know on social media. For example, on Twitter, I asked you guys on there, what did you think of this chapter? Critical Mind X says, well, we can all agree baby AMD is the cutest little demon ever. No cap. Second, you predicted it right that the Anti-Magic Demon went through the same injustices as Asta, and them fighting together will create the ideal world Asta thrives for. Now thank you, Critical Mind X, that is some really deep thinking and I pretty much agree. So just as we predicted, the Anti-Magic Demon was indirectly passed on to Asta through the intentions of love. Asta's mother knew of Lucifer and wanted to save her foster child from him. However, her actions led to both of her sons ending up together. Asta now uses these powers to go against the tyranny Lucifer has orchestrated with the Dark Triad. As he mentioned in chapter 268 that his original intention was to use the Anti-Magic Demon to search for a way to manifest his body into the human world. We know at this point of time this was indeed his objective, as the Dark Triad were using the devil powers to cause the coup d'etat against Yuno's family in the Spade Nation. This piece of evidence now explains to us why the Dark Triad took 16 years to enact their plan of taking over the world, since they had to research regarding the Tree of Qliphoth to be able to manifest Lucifer, right? This is the research that we saw Nacht picked up whilst being a spy. Furthermore, you're probably wondering, isn't this convenient that Lucifer happened to do this? How is all of the story so interconnected? Well, no, it all makes sense, because at this point of the timeline to make sense, as in for Asta and Yuno to end up at the church on the same day, that means the Dark Triad had already attacked. Therefore, Lucifer must have already been playing around on Earth, and that's why he was scanning the realm to see if there was any other devils that he can have fun with, since he has the ability to take them over, and it's evident from the fact that he knew Zagreus escaped hell when Dante asked him. Therefore, he found the Anti-Magic Demon stating, "I'm glad I killed some time looking for him." Remember my analysis, I explained where the tragic past is catching up to the Light Triad in the intertwined story against the Dark Triad. Now that we know devil rankings are based upon your power, Asta and Liebe combining together to utilize their powers at 100% capacity, it could mean by the end of Black Clover they can become a rank of a king in the finale. Now another interesting note we must be aware of is that the Anti-Magic Demon, he refers to Lucifer as one of the highest devils. This implies that there must be demons that are just as strong as him, if not even above. Now another point I want to bring up is how this woman is 100% undoubtedly Asta's mother or ancestor. She looks literally just like the kid. I mean, the eye shape, personality, hairstyle are definitely things worth paying attention to. But secondly, the biggest clue is how she has a magic type that specifically drains magic and vitality from others, similar to Henry, but he is cursed and she is not to our knowledge. Asta is the only person we know of so far in Black Clover that has no magic, so it's possible his disability is directly the cause of being in close contact with his own mother. This is the very reason that she could not keep him and left him at the church, because if she kept Asta, that would mean he would die by her own hands. This also explains why she takes on the Anti-Magic Demon so easily as her own son. Asta's mother must have felt guilt and loneliness after doing such an act, and she would want to replace this empty void by doing this selfless act, thus adopting the Anti-Magic Demon. In addition, if Asta's mother had a strange body that is unique to everyone else that has this ability, that means a mutation that the Witch Queen suggested about Asta is definitely possible. This is because a mutation in DNA, with my degree in anime bullshit science, mind you, remember I have that degree, you guys, I got this degree that is all powerful, but basically a mutation I'm trolling so hard. But basically, a mutation is a change in genetic sequence, and they are the main cause of diversity among organisms. These changes occur at many different levels, and they can have widely differing consequences. Now, in biological systems such as humans that are capable of reproduction, these mutations are heritable. However, some affect only the individual that carries them, whilst others affect all of the carrier's organism's offspring and further descendants. So in Asta's case, since his mother had a unique body that did this, he inherited the mutation, but it's possible it changed in a manner where he had no mana instead. So pretty much this chapter explicitly explains to us why Asta has no mana now, but that then brings up the question, guys. Look, this is the biggest question I'm wondering, bro. Who the hell banged Asta's mom? This bitch, this bitch just said if she sucks your pee-pee, she will literally suck the soul out of you, right? You're telling me someone was that thirsty that they would die for some coochie? My man died to bang this woman. I mean, how else did she get pregnant? Oh shit! Oh shit! Now, this may be a 10 out of 10 chapter, but there are still a dozen of questions that are leaving me confused. So as a community, we need to have these questions in mind whilst we are reading Black Clover from now on. So question number 1. How the hell did Nero literally say she was asleep for the first few years, then when she awoke, watch the book for the rest of time, only for her to not know that Licita got her hands on it? I mean, unless Nero slept a lot longer than she remembered, or this bitch really doesn't know what she's talking about. This is why when I asked on Twitter, almost 37% of you still believe that this could be Asta's ancestor instead, and these events could have happened hundreds of years ago instead. Nero told us that she doesn't know how the Anti-Magic Demon got into the book or when. So if we are saying it's 17 years ago, that means she was asleep for a long ass time or was distracted. I mean, technically speaking, she wasn't even keeping an eye on it all the time because the book was inside the wall and she had to find Asta once again at the magic entrance exams to see where it went. She actually doesn't know what she's talking about.
I'm confused!
Also, if the coup d'etat had already happened by the time she left Asta at the church, why the hell is this not mentioned? Why are the civilians not talking about it? Like, that's another, I don't know what's going on, I'm confused.
I'm confused.
And now question number 2. How did the Anti-Magic Demon manifest his powers? He literally told us in chapter 268 that he has no mana or magic, but somehow he adopted the properties of Asta's mother Licita's body type within the grimoire. His mother can absorb magic and destroy life force, which is practically anti-magic, let's be honest. So how did he garner these powers within the book? Did this power only come to fruition after her death? Did the Anti-Magic Demon have power all along but needed mana? I mean, did he drain her power while she was dying? I'm confused.
I'm confused.
Furthermore, if these events happened 16 years ago, how did the anti-magic swords in the book end up the way that they are? For example, in the dungeon within chapter 11, the swords were already rusted and had anti-magic properties, similar to how the anti-magic demon made Yami's katana suddenly rusty just like all the others, thus connecting it to the grimoire that Asta now uses. Nero was the one that said the demon imbued his magic into the book to change the swords. So again, what is she talking about? Did this happen 500 years ago, or did this happen 17 years ago for the story to make sense? The anti-magic demon was stuck in the book, or is there something else that is happening?
I'm confused. I'm confused right now, G.
The third question. Asta's mother definitely must live in the outskirts of the Hajj village for the story to make sense. The anti-magic demon has a clovered tail, and she found the fifth leaf grimoire where it was likely to have been located, since the original Lumiere and demon god Licht fight happened right outside of Hajj village, right? Now in chapter 228, Lola Pachika says Clover Kingdom specializes in unnatural magic, and she mentions some of these magic types are arcane, meaning that they have the power to kill devils, which Asta's mother was kind of doing. Number 2, in order for her to travel to Hajj in urgency to get Asta away from her, if she has such a deadly magic power that drains life and mana, she would likely live nearby Hajj village and wouldn't risk going too far in case she stays around him for too long. Now our fourth question as a community. Why do Asta and the anti-magic demon look so similar and also short and have no mana, right, when they got born? When the anti-magic demon possesses Asta, like in chapter 242 or so, he develops what would be 4 horns in a complete set. Is this all for irony's sake and to further emphasize the connection these two have as adoptive brothers? Because, you know, technically they are brothers. The anti-magic demon on his own only has 2 horns. And, you know, guys, using basic anime logic with math, 4 horn bigger than 2 horn, meaning more power. But at the end of the day, that's everything I want to say for this week. Please join the community. These are the next few questions we need answers to. Let me know if there's any others you have in the comment section below, and make sure you support us by hitting the notification bell, smash that like button, follow us on social media, and I'll see you guys next time.